United Way actually already had a really good number of initiatives that they were doing in the community, one of which called All In for Youth, which really was about bringing people together to start to have these kind of design-centered conversations. The challenge was, how can you scale that? How can you make that repeatable? How can you involve and include more people? And how can you be running these kinds of thought experiments on different kinds of subjects at the same time? So that's why we partnered with J5 and decided to call ourselves the Social Impact Lab.
When we came into the first session, we thought, oh, we need a new business model.
We've opened a new facility up in the Northwest, and it's a great facility, great opportunities, but we've been noticing a lot of youth dropping in, which is good. It's just that some of them were getting into some trouble up there.
We unfortunately had to close the doors to our extraction clinic because we couldn't find funding. It's extremely difficult to find funding for dental.
The agencies that we fundraise to support take care of people who have urgent everyday needs. We're the only United Way in Canada that's actually working on something like this right now. So I'd say that it's pretty unique.
Outside-in organizations think from the customer perspective first around what would I want as a customer? What's the relationship I'd want to have with this business?
I actually had no idea what I was walking into. Just being able to see how interconnected everything is through this type of thinking and being able to visually lay it out.
Everyone is starting to use design thinking and the principles around design thinking as a way to start to accelerate on change.
Design thinking is really, many people equate it with human-centered design. Human-centered design is simple. It takes the needs of a person as the design direction.
The first thing that I wanted to do is kind of get us to write, what is that problem you're trying to solve? So
we honed in on what we thought was a problem, and the problem started to shift a bit to more the service and what the consumer might be experiencing.
So how does this design thinking process really going to apply into a real world situation?
So we started to kind of look at it that way, not just from the youth point of view and what we have to do for the youth, but why parents would want their youth to be engaged in these programs. I think that was kind of our aha moment.
What is a better way that we could involve the youth, and instead of kicking youth out, that they would be more inspired to be involved and be more positive while they're there.
If you want your robot to talk to my robot, you don't need design thinking for that. But if you're talking about human needs and improving human conditions or suboptimal conditions, then design thinking is a great way to go at that.
We can bring the issues, we can bring the partners, we can bring the donors, the philanthropists, the agencies. We can bring that to the table, and J5 can bring this business process and design process, and putting those two things together is really what makes our approach here pretty unique.
It was a lot more intense than I thought it was going to be. He really was pushing us to think about things in ways that we hadn't before.
We all have our traditional toolbox of things that we think will work.
I think we keep coming up with the same solutions time and time again.
We think we know what the problems are. We think we know what the solutions are.
You know, we kind of think like we're going to solve this great problem, but we don't ever present to them like where's the business model behind it.
I know what's going to start to happen is we're going to start to be able to connect all the different pieces and start to put things together in ways that are not being put together today. And to me, that's really the invaluable impact that we're going to be able to make in our community.
Then you get into the social emotional side of boosting their confidence, increases their employability, improves their social interactions, and by improving those things, you generally get them out of the poverty line, and other people are able to come and get help, and they are moved out of our care.
So just providing that time for people to think on their business with everyone else and to get everyone in that same mindset. So for us at United Way, that's a gift we're choosing to give to the community to see what things we could create differently in giving ourselves both the permission space and the thought space to be able to do that kind of thing together.
Yeah, I had this image of how it could help the community because I want to be part of that.
Yeah, the collaboration and the opportunity for corporations and nonprofits to start working more closely together to kind of co-create solutions in our community that overlap business and the social sector could change everything. It could change absolutely everything.